guys, and welcome back to First Chapter Friday. This Friday, I've picked The Curse of the Werepenguin by Alan Woodrow. It's a little different from what I usually pick. You would think it's horror because of the werewolf penguin, but there are a lot of genres that fuse together to make a genre, so this would be just like a comedic horror story. It's funny, but does have certain elements that a horror book would, like a werewolf. In this case, a werepenguin. So I am just going to read you the prologue. Prologue, the St. Ives Zoo. 14 penguins glared at me with haunting yellow eyes. They seemed disturbed, disdainful, disgruntled, discombobulated, and disagreeably disquieting. They squawked loud roaring barks, beaks frowning. A chill rose up my back. I sneezed. It had been foolish to visit the famed penguin exhibit at the St. Ives Zoo with my handkerchief. My allergies to penguins was even worse than my allergies to zebras, giraffes, monkeys, elephants, emus, tigers, bears, otters, snakes, sheep, cow, various reptiles, and pandas. Perhaps being a zoo animal procurer has not been the best career choice. Then again, if I hadn't come to that zoo on that particular day at that particular time, I would have never heard the story of the werepenguin. And then, neither would you. It was late and the zoo was closing soon. I leaned against the railing of the penguin enclosure, twirling the small glass penguin figurine I kept as a good luck charm. I also carried 3 rabbit's feet, 10 four-leaf clovers, and a framed number 7. Not that I was superstitious, but it never hurt to be prepared. I sneezed again and needed somewhere to wipe my nose. My sock? My shoelaces? Unfortunately, I was not very flexible. Care for this, sir? Asked a man with a large handful of tissues. I yanked one from his grasp. Thank you, I said, and then sneezed anew. A tremendous sneeze that sounded like a truck's honk. The man jumped. He seemed nervous and perhaps bothered by loud noises. I was glad I had left my tuba at home. I am the caretaker of the penguins. The fellow was short and round with an oversized nose and a balding head. He wore a long black overcoat, a black scarf around his neck, and a white shirt. If I squinted, he almost looked like one of the penguins beyond the railing. He slouched as if he carried a lifesum of worries on his shoulders, and those worries were heavy. Or perhaps he just had weak shoulders. I'm here on business, I explained. Zoo business. The man arched his eyebrows. I represent a new zoo, a large zoo, a zoo of immense proportions. I have been traveling far and wide, near and thin, to purchase animals for the zoo. Your penguins are magnificent. I will buy half of them. The short, round man frowned. A kind offer, but I'm afraid you wasted your travels. The St. Ives penguins are not for sale. They are comfortable here. This is their home. Nonsense, I said and snorted. It was a purposeful snort. Everything is for sale. May I buy your shoes? The man looked down at his black loafers. They looked to be 10 sizes too large for him and shook his head. No, I'm wearing these. But even if the penguins were for sale, and they are not, I could never sell half of them. They are a family, you see. Families should never be split up. I scoffed and then snorted again. Home? Family? These are birds, sir. They do not need an exhibit as big or as comfortable as this one. You pamper them. All a penguin needs is a cage and some newspaper on the floor. Penguins can't read. Even so, tell me your price. I must buy your penguins. I noticed the penguin caretaker was staring at the penguin figurine in my hand. I held it for him to see more clearly. Where did you get that? He asked. At a flea market at Kathmandu. They had run out of fleas, so I bought this instead. The man who sold it to me said it was handmade in Brugaria. Yes, that penguin is Brugarian. I've seen others like it. The penguin caretaker turned slowly and looked over the railing. He sighed loudly. You've heard about the werepenguins of Brugaria, of course. Werepenguins? You mean werewolves? Humans who turn into wolves during a full moon? Werewolves get all the action. You don't read as much about the were-aardvarks of Transylvania or the were-termites of Brazil. Some people call them myths. Who knows? But the werepenguin? Now that's a story. Fairy tales, I said, with a dismissive wave of my hand. There's no such thing as wear anything except underwear, and that's spelled differently. May I tell you a story? You may find it even more valuable than our penguins, but I warn you the tale is long. Everyone knows penguin tails are short, I replied, and then chuckled at my own joke. This is not a story to be taken lightly, he warned. In fact, I will give you a deal. Listen to my tale. If at the end you are still interested in half my penguins, they are yours for free. Free? I looked at him carefully as if he were mocking me. Have you ever heard of free penguins? But one look at the man's sunken eyes and saggy cheeks convinced me that he was not someone who told jokes. If he ever had a sense of humor, it had likely been buried long ago. You have a deal, my friend. Tell me your tale, short or no. I warn you, it's a disturbing story, also disquieting and discombobulating, like the penguins watching. He gestured to the exhibit where the wattle of penguins continued to glare at us. I sneezed, and the man gave me the rest of his stack of tissues. The story, he started, starts in a home for abandoned boys. Bolt Wattle was 12 years old with no family and no prospects for anything except a disappointing future. But his life was about to be changed forever. I hate children's stories, I snapped. There is nothing childish about this story, I assure you. So that is a sneak peek. It's a hilarious book, so if you want a good laugh, please give us a call and we'd be happy to put The Curse of the Werepenguin on hold for you or anything similar to it. Happy Friday!